There are so many times when I think, why do people have dogs? Dogs are so annoying, but they're so great, but they're so annoying. I've been trying to film the intro to this video for about 20 minutes and someone keeps walking past the house. I'm assuming it's not the same person, that would be mean. And yeah, barking. Can you believe that I have never tried any powder foundation before? So this is the starter kit from Bare Minerals. I picked this up the other day because my skin has been breaking out and I just thought I really want to try this. It's something that I've never really given a go before. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, how in all this time on YouTube, I mean just like as an adult woman that puts on makeup, but how in all this time on YouTube have I never been tempted to go and pick up a mineral foundation to try out? There are so many out there and I have never tried one. So I got the starter kit. This I think is £39. Depending on where you buy it, I can probably find you a link for less than that. And it's got 7 things in here. So let me open it up and show you. I got the light one. The person that sold it to me wanted to give me light medium and I was not on board with that. So we've got the light selection. Here we have a nice little gift pack. When you open it up it says, "Hello gorgeous." How cute is that? And then inside we have 7, oh no, this is the 7th. We have 6 items. A primer, we've got the original foundation, the matte foundation, the mineral veil, and I think this is a bronzer. Yes, which is called Warmth. And then a brush. I don't think it's that bad a deal, to be honest, because Bare Minerals is not cheap. £39 is not bad. Right, I'm just going to whip off this piece of plastic from the mirror. Are you the person that leaves the plastic on your phone for as long as possible when you get a new phone? Or are you the person that takes all of the plastic off everything instantly? Because I am that person. You know, like when you get a new watch and it's got like a film of plastic. Is that only cheap watches? I don't know. So we're going to give this a go. Prime Time Foundation Primer. This is the original. It says apply a thin, even layer all over the face, allow to dry, and follow with Bare Minerals foundation. Okie doke. Oh, it's like not what I expected. Like a professional kind of texture. How strange. I don't know what I expected that to be, but I didn't think it was going to be like a thick silicone-y one. Also, have you noticed that there's a new addition in my living room? You may have seen the vlog, but everything that I add to this room, I swear I'm making it more and more like our old house. I loved this rug so much. We got rid of it in the move because we didn't think it was going to like fit and go with stuff, but also because Manny sheds a lot and he's got really, really fair hair, it really gets in because it's a really low pile rug, but a very tight weave. It really kind of sticks in there, and even now I'm kind of looking around. I put this rug down yesterday and I can see little bits of Manny's hair that's going to be impossible to get out of there. If anybody knows how to get dog hair out of a really low pile rug or carpet, please let me know. I know that you can get like a stiff brush, but I don't want to ruin the rug. So I opened one of these yesterday and I've just opened this one and I'm realising maybe I shouldn't have. Oh no, that's fine, okay. So a little thing comes out. This has been protecting it in there. I had to use my teeth to get this out because it was real pain. I mean, I definitely didn't use my teeth to do it. Don't tell my dentist. But no, you don't need to keep that because it's got a little slidey thing in there where you can open and close. So like, again, not super easily, but you can slide it closed so that none of the powder will get out when you are moving around and traveling with this product. Apparently I didn't do that with the one I opened yesterday. For the sake of testing, I am going to use both of them. So we'll do one side for each and we will hopefully remember what side we used each on. So I've got the original, both of the colours that I've got are light. I've got the original and I've got the matte. As I understand it, you're supposed to swirl, tap and buff. I maybe shouldn't be doing this on like a velvet footstool. I think this is going to get really messy. I just don't know how long I'm supposed to buff for or like how far this will stretch. Okay, I think that's probably as much coverage as I'm going to get. So I'm going to bring you in for an inspection. I do think there's some amount of sparkle or shimmer in this product because I feel like I can see it here and it's kind of really exaggerated my pores. I don't really think that it's exaggerating any fine lines when you look at the comparison. No more than kind of any normal foundation, I would say. But yeah, I definitely see some kind of sheen. Not a huge amount of coverage. That's fine for me. I like to have just kind of a sheer natural coverage. But the problem would, of course, be whether or not you could use some kind of concealer on top of this, because with a normal sheer coverage foundation, I would then go in with concealer in certain areas. Would you then have to use a mineral concealer? Right, so we're going in with the matte on the other side. I definitely prefer the finish around my pores on this side. Obviously, it's not giving me, again, all that much coverage, but just enough. And under normal circumstances, didn't I have kind of breakouts and redness, I think that the coverage wouldn't be an issue. It's more application, because I'm not 100% sure how much of this I'm supposed to be putting on, how I'm supposed to be buffing it. This is all complete guesswork. But I do like the way that this looks compared to this. When you look at my pores, I think you can see a sheen there, can't you? Which you can't see on that side. So one of the things it does say is to use them both together. So obviously, like everywhere else, kind of T-zone even, all around here, I'd be cool with the regular one. It's really just this area and around my eyes that I wouldn't want to exaggerate anything. And so that's where I would want to use the matte one. So next up we've got the illuminator, which is kind of the bronzer, and the mineral veil. As I understand it, the mineral veil is supposed to be kind of soft focus finishing powder, so I'm going to use that one first. I'm just going to use it kind of in the areas that I would usually use that one that I've been really enjoying from what is it called, Dermablend, and see how it compares. It's kind of got a peachy colour to it, so I'm thinking maybe it's got some kind of colour correcting elements as well. I really like that. That's something that, whether I was using the mineral foundation or not, I would probably go back to. I seem to remember people talking a lot about the mineral veil, but again, this has just been something that I've completely skipped over, so I'm excited to be finally trying it. All over face colour. Man, this is so dark. This is called Warmth, and it seems like a lot. So we'll see. I'm assuming that it can be this dark because it's very blendable. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I definitely feel like I need a different brush for this. I wanted to use the brush that was in the kit because obviously this is the brush that they're, in theory, advertising as wanting to be used with this, but I do feel like I want a more dense brush. This feels too fluffy to buff things in. I'm not sure about that. That didn't feel super blendable. I think that it's quite patchy, I would say. Oh my God. Right, okay, we're just gonna make our peace with it. That's not necessarily a bad product, but it's definitely something that I would need to practice using. Whereas the mineral veil, big fan. I'm just gonna pop on a little bit of mascara. Looking in the mirror, I really like the finish of this. I like the way it looks on my skin. I like that it feels very, very light. I do think that it's too dark for me. I don't know if it's gonna pick up on camera, but in the mirror, even before I put on that bronzer, it definitely had like a too warm vibe. So I probably would pick up something a little bit paler than this, or just use this kind of in the summertime. I mean, bear in mind as well, I'm gonna get much paler than this. I've probably got some residual colour from the summertime. Come like January, this would be way off. Whereas maybe now I could just about get away with it light enough. Even in this area that I've got a lot of redness and a huge spot, I think it's done a pretty good job of coverage. Obviously you can't get rid of it altogether, even if I was using a really heavy coverage foundation. It wouldn't get rid of that altogether. So I think it's done a really good job, bearing in mind I'm not wearing any other concealer. I'm interested to see mostly how this wears with oil. So like as I get oily throughout the day, is this gonna all kind of break down? Is it gonna cling to any dry areas? Is it gonna end up looking not so great around my fine lines and especially my pores? We'll see, but I kind of need to see how this wears, because that's the big test for me of any foundation, and especially with it being a completely different system that I'm not even used to. I think we have to do the day test. So maybe not an entire day, but later on this afternoon, I'll come back and we'll kind of assess how it's working for my skin. Okay, it's been about 2 hours and I'm feeling really shiny. I've just filmed a video and the whole time I was filming it, I was like, so shiny. I'm kind of disappointed because the mineral veil said that it would help to mattify. This side of my foundation is supposed to be matte. I know I didn't do any extra powder on top, but are you supposed to do that when you use mineral foundation? I don't know, but I am feeling really shiny. And weirdly, if anything, I feel like I'm shinier on this side than this side, but that might be the light. It's been about 7 hours and I feel like I'm almost less shiny than I was earlier on today. It's a bit strange. Maybe it's just the light, but I don't feel like there's as much oil on my face. It's really strange. I haven't touched up or done anything whatsoever. And yet it seems to have kind of evened out. I'm happy with the way that it has settled in certain areas. I mean, for example, around my nose, around my pores, I don't think that it looks worse than it did when I applied it. Weirdly, I have found that the matte version seems to look worse around my pores now than when I first applied it. I do think that I prefer the original finish in general. It's a little bit more natural looking, whereas this, I think maybe it is slightly more clinging to dry areas and things where I'm not really seeing anything on this side at all. So far, the original is kind of winning in a weird way, and it almost looks better as the day progresses. So it's bedtime now, it's about 10 o'clock. I'm just about to go and get in the bath. I couldn't really leave it any longer than this before I could take off my makeup. But I'm really impressed with this. In the middle of the day, I really thought it was not going to go very well, but the coverage has held up really well. Weirdly, my skin seemed to even out and not be so shiny by the end of the day. It's something that I want to try a little bit more and experiment with. Before I leave you, I do want to just do one thing just to see, because I think if I was to use a more dense buffing brush, I could get more coverage in certain areas. I've used it on this eye, but not on this one, just to kind of show you the difference. Now, like I say, this is definitely too warm for me. That shade is maybe not the most flattering. I would need something paler, but you can kind of see the difference that you could get. I might have to go and get my proper shade because I'm really, really enjoying it. Changed my mind like 15 times today while I was wearing it, and more experimenting is definitely needed to find the best way to apply this. But first impressions are, I can't believe I've waited so long to try this. So any tips that you've got, anything you would like to share with me, any other mineral makeup brands that I need to test out, let me know in the comments below, and I'll give this a go over the next couple of weeks, and I'll give you maybe a follow-up when I found the best way to use this for me. I do think this is kind of like a trial and error thing, and it's going to mostly be down to the tools that you're using and how you're applying it. But yeah, I would say it was a positive experience.